Unscripted.
You know, we're getting a bit of a clearer picture exactly what Sony had in mind with the PlayStation 5. Not only are we getting more information from themselves, but we're also getting more information that's coming out via other means as well. And I think it really goes to show they've done a really fantastic job with paying attention to the trends that their fans want. It's not just all about what they want, because obviously if it was all about what they want, then, you know, going back to Joe Dirt, all they would be selling is snakes and sparklers, right? Like, but it's us, the consumer, and what we want. And it looks like what we want is obviously a console that has fantastic AAA exclusives and things like that. And I get that Sony understands that much more than Microsoft does, which at the end of the day is critical to gaining any kind of ground in any kind of business. You know, they're really paying attention to what we're asking for, and I think that that's super important. And I also just want to kind of point out that I also feel like what Sony is doing is taking the feedback, whether it be good or bad, and sort of leveling the ground a little bit, just saying, hey, you know, we're going to do this, but you have to remember that, that we're doing this, and we're doing it just specifically for you guys, etc., etc. And Sony have done a really good job of sort of just kind of paying attention and kind of opening those lines of communication. So I really do, I really do think that they've done a fantastic job with that. Now, we got some news today that I thought was rather interesting, and it really just goes to show that Sony is on the right path with what they're doing. And that's not really a knock on Microsoft, but I will say that when it comes down to it, Microsoft would probably not do this because they're in like kind of going in a completely different direction. And I think that that's fine, right? Like, hey, go in a different direction, do what you want, do what you got to do to survive in the industry. But clearly there's a situation where, what we keep seeing is that Sony keeps being successful, and Microsoft, they're successful in the way that they're making money, but they're not exactly doing it in the means and the traditional way that Sony is. And you also have to keep it into account that Microsoft, the way that they quote unquote make money for the Xbox brand, is a bit of everything, including stuff like Minecraft, and that's everywhere. So Minecraft makes them a ton of money, and then that counts as money towards Xbox or whatever, when the reality is Xbox isn't really doing anything specifically in that Minecraft realm to make them money. So that's just something that I always kind of looked at was kind of funny to me. And I just wanted to kind of point it out and say, hey, what we keep seeing with this kind of stuff is some drastic changes from one another. So I do really think that that's interesting, But I wanted to jump into this, so let's get started, shall we? What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. If you're looking for a way to help out my small, pretty insignificant channel, the best way to do that is a simple like. It's free for you guys to do, and it means a lot to me personally. So thank you guys so much for all this love and support and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys are great. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. You guys really are a fantastic group of people, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because there is no channel without you guys. So thank you so much for always rocking out with me and just being great people and great fans and great friends and stuff like that. It does exactly mean a ton to me. So with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Now, here's the thing, okay? When it comes to the PlayStation 5, it's built around their amazing single-player AAA exclusives, and now we have factual evidence of this. This is pretty great. Single-player games have been thought to be quote-unquote dying for a long time. We've been hearing that for years, and yet Sony's own data says this isn't the case at all. This information comes from confidential documents obtained by Vice Games, which were originally distributed to developers in late 2019. So you guys might even remember a few years ago, I believe around the time Horizon Zero Dawn came out and Zelda Breath of the Wild came out for Nintendo, Phil Spencer was saying that single-player games didn't have the same impact they had once had, and it was going to be hard for them to do single-player games and stuff like that. And to the credit, I think that obviously Sony and Nintendo keep showing time and time again that that's not the case. And Phil Spencer might point to them as having quote-unquote single-player games, but they don't have those big AAA single-player games and haven't had one since you have to go back all the way to Quantum Break in 2016. Which was, 4, almost 5 years ago now. So again, even though it's been proven that these single player games can be a huge hit and do extremely well, we still have instances of Microsoft kind of not doing that, not wanting to do that. So according to Sony in this document, single player gaming is thriving, and in fact most people spend more time playing offline games than online, which certainly flies in the face of the notion that all anyone cares about anymore is Fortnite and Call of Duty. And I have this article that I'm going to link in the description so you guys can check it out and peruse at your own personal leisure and let me know what you think, because I think this is fascinating stuff and really goes in line with how I game nowadays as well. Interestingly enough, the Sony documents also reveal a number of PlayStation 5's new UI features, specifically activities cards and game help, which were purposely designed to make single-player games easier to get into. Sony found one of the main things keeping players from engaging with single-player games was not knowing how much time they'd need to achieve something in a game, and thus activity cards and game help were designed to make it easy to get up to speed very quickly. In an ideal world, every player has time to spend hours per day, every day, playing single-player games. In reality, most people have jobs or kids or schools or all of the above. Often, free time comes wedged between other obligations, an hour before bed, a 30-minute break between homework assignments. In a busy world, what time to play might not come for a while. When they finally do find a spare hour, they've forgotten where they were and what they were doing. Then what? We can change. Should I start playing to which part should I start playing? The options are there. The choices are clear. The game is calling. Pick up the controller. It's time to play. That was their internal memo. So this really speaks to me as a gamer, right? Father, husband, business owner, this speaks to me. Okay, years ago, I used to play multiplayer games a lot. I was playing multiplayer games quite a bit. That was probably my forte. Not that I wasn't playing single player games, because I was doing both, but I'm just saying that I was able to play, everything. But my forte was really, the multiplayer stuff. I was playing Halo, Call of Duty, Gears of War, and I wasn't just playing a little bit. Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, when it originally came out on Xbox 360, I put over a month of my life into that game. Like, they tracked that, and I put another 3 weeks in the PlayStation 3 version. I put so many hundreds and hundreds of hours into stuff like Gears of War, okay, NFL 2K in my time, Madden. I put so much time into these multiplayer games back in the day that it was just a very, very interesting thing. So I do think that's cool, and I love multiplayer, and I'm not knocking multiplayer because I think if you have time, and I think multiplayer for a lot of people is like a young man's type thing now, and I'm really knocking anybody if you don't have time or whatever. I'm just saying this really speaks to me in that I have time at a specific point to game, and it realistically, and people always ask me, well, why don't you play the Souls games, or why don't you do this? It's like, I have such little time anymore between all these other responsibilities that I don't want to have to go back and replay, an hour and a half, or 2 hours that I already played because I died, right? And you have to backtrack and all that kind of stuff. So it's nothing against those games. I think that they're great for what they are. But it's like, for me personally, I have to be able to move on. This is why people go, well, why do you play games on normal or easy? Well, I don't have time to sit there and it's like, sometimes you like a challenge, but a lot of times I just want to see the story unfold before me. You know what I mean? I'm in it for like a story type situation. So yeah, that's very interesting. So it's very nice to see PlayStation doubling down on single player experiences like this. A lot of people are already using them. You can use the activity cards to hop into like Spider-Man, Miles Morales more quickly. It's not going to be for every game or whatever, but for certain mission heavy games it can be really, really fantastic. I just like the fact that they're catering and paying attention to what gamers want, and I love that fact. They've really, really done a fantastic job of catering to what fans want and what gamers are kind of looking forward to, and how we can spend our time. I really do think that that's fantastic. I really do think that that's really spot on with what I kind of was expecting, and it's really nice to see that they're kind of paying attention to what fans want in general. So yeah, I love this, and I love the idea that they built basically PlayStation 5 around their strengths, which is, you know, these great epic AAA exclusive single player games, and they keep proving that there's a need and a want for these things, and I love that. And you know, I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way I do. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm very passionate about this stuff. I love gaming. I'm having a fantastic time in this new generation, and I really do hope that everything kind of comes to fruition for everybody. I hope everybody gets the console that they want at some point, sooner rather than later. But it's nice to see that a company like Sony is actually listening and paying attention, and I love that. I absolutely love it. So anyway, I will link this. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy. Take care of each other. Happy holidays. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. As always, Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.